Hey, this is Buzz signing in with episode number 13 of AirWaves. And you'll have to excuse my voice because I'm battling an upper respiratory infection. And no, it's not the coronavirus. So don't worry, you're safe on the AirWaves channel. But episode 13, what we're doing here is reviewing the audio processing that I use for my home FM radio station. It's called XAP, which stands for X Audio Processor. And the company that makes this is called XDevil. I think I mentioned in a previous video that was the name of this, and I think at one time it was, but if we click on, well, first of all, I don't think I'm logged into the internet. I have an internet connection here. So let's do that over on the other screen. And we'll click on this right here, and hopefully it'll load up. Okay, yeah, here we are. This is the company. xdevil.com is their web address. They're an Italian company, and you can see here that they say they create solutions for radio, TV, streaming, and mobile. Those are apps. And so they make not only this audio processing program for radio, but they also have a radio automation program which does the same things that I showed you, the Playout One program that I use. And I don't know anything about their other products. The only one I know is this one here, the XAP. Okay. Now typically what you'll see is just this bar right here on the monitor. This is another screen that opens up when you click on parameters. But before we get to that, we have this preferences over here. This is where you set up your sound cards, and I've got 2 sound cards in the computer, plus the mixer itself has a built-in sound card, so 3 sound cards. But you can set your input device here and your output device, and that's where you want to, the output device is where you want to send your processed audio to the transmitter. Okay. Now, this bar is a little bit longer, but I've got it covered up on this corner with this window because it has my licensing information on there that I don't want to broadcast to the world. But the only other thing on this screen here is the play button, the stop, and the pause. And this is the output of the processor. Now, again, this is a software program as opposed to a hardware solution. Hardware processors, as you know, can be very expensive, especially if you're talking about an Omnia or an Optimod or any of the other professional processors that are out there that commercial radio uses. And I think, though, when you're talking about bang for the buck, you can't go wrong with this program. And so what I'll do here next is zoom in over on this screen, the parameter screen, and give you a run through of how the program works. Okay, so here we are zoomed in on the preferences page, and I know looking at it, it's like, oh my gosh, I'll never figure all that out. And if you don't have any prior experience with setting up hardware type audio processing like an Optimod or Omnia or one of the other major broadcasting processors, this is probably over the head of a lot of people. But there's good news, because even I, with all the experience I have, when I first looked at this, I'm like, okay. But the good news is, you see this right up here, and I've got it set for pop 4 bands. Now, it comes with some already preset settings, okay? And you can scroll through them. You see there, it goes to pop, clean plus L, which is clean plus loudness. You can store custom ones that you've done. But it's showing you which one is loaded right now. What I did is I took an existing one, which was called Pop 4 Bands, and used that, and then I made some slight modifications to suit me and what I wanted. Okay, and So that gives you a good place to start with. You know, like I say, depending on what kind of format you're running, you know, they've got different settings in here to choose from. So chances are you'll find something that you like and that you can at least work off of. But there's a lot of things on here. I'm not going to cover everything, just kind of give you a high level overview. But over here on the left, you've got your gated AGC, that's automatic gain control. You can set your settings there. Also, there's some things down here that I'm using. I've got a phase rotator clicked, 15 kilohertz input, LPF, your bass EQ. There's 3 choices over here. But then on your automatic gain control, you've got, this is your compression settings. You've got your attack and release for bass. You've got your master attack and master release. And this is all for the bass part up here. And then down here, what I really like about this, it's got a multiband processor. You can see there's actually 5 different bands, and you can, when you click this over here, it says CFG, that's for configuration. You click that, and any changes you make to it will affect only that one band. Okay? Or if you want to treat all 5 bands the same, you can click this global button here, and then any changes you make will change all 5 of the bands. That kind of defeats the purpose of having a multiband processor. You got an overdrive over here, which basically is the density of your signal. Down here, one thing that I think is important, you see this, there's this right here, it says track RMS, and that's the average signal, the RMS is. And when you're doing audio processing, I think it's better to track the RMS signal, because you still get the compression and, you know, the density that you want, but I think it's a cleaner sound if you use track RMS. And then, you know, when you've done all your things, all your settings, if you want to see the difference, you can hit bypass. And well, that's for this section. Hit bypass, you can hear the difference with or without the settings. There's an overall bypass up here that says bypass all, and that basically just takes this completely out of the loop. And down here's a dual band compressor limiter, and you've got your settings here for your attack and release like you do up here for the bass section. And you can see this is input and output. You can see the signal I'm putting into it, and this is what's coming out. Now I want to tell you, I mean, I've got a lot of experience with radio, and almost all of it was top 40 CHR, that's contemporary hit radio, where processing is very important. And when I go out in my vehicle and I listen to my station and I listen to other stations on the band, it's as loud or louder than most of the other stations and sounds as clean. And I'm talking about stations that are running like $10,000 audio processors. This thing is incredible. I mean, it does sound good. If you've got it set up right, I think you'd be really impressed with the sound of it. But anyway, again, it's called the XAP. That's the X audio processor. xdevil.com is the place you can go and check it out and check out. They've also got radio automation program. I don't know anything about it. This is the only program of theirs that I've used, and it wasn't that expensive. I can't remember now. I bought this I guess about 3 years ago, and I really can't remember what it was, but I'm almost positive it was below $100. You know, try to buy a piece of hardware that'll do that. It's just not going to happen. Also, their customer service has been good. I think there's like 3 occasions I've asked them to help me, and the big help was set it up initially for me, because I have 3 different sound cards in my system. So anyway, that's it. Not a long video, but if you have more questions, put it down in the comment section. I'll try to answer them for you. But really, the best thing is to get it and start playing with it, and take advantage of the preset configurations that they have, and I think you'll find something that you really like. So this is Buzz with episode, did I say 12? I can't remember now which episode this is. It'll say in the title anyway. But if you would, if you like the video and the other videos on the channel, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Really need to get the subscription base up. Also, like and share the videos, and I'll see you down the dial.